Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to our latest webcast that we're bringing you from Travel Weekly as part of our Roadmap to Recovery series. And I'm truly delighted to be joined today by Rob Scott, who is the Vice President of Sales, Marketing and Brand at P&O Cruises. So, Rob, how are you?
I'm very well. Hi, Lucy. Thanks so much for having me on. Appreciate it's taken a while to get me here, but I'm delighted to be here.
Well, I was about to say, because of course we announced that you were taking over this role back in April. It's now October, so it has taken a while, but I'm sure it's been very, very busy. So we'll talk about that. But just because people perhaps don't know you, Rob, you're new to this particular role, but not new to P&O. You've been there a while. So just tell us a little bit about your background, and then we'll come on to what you're doing now.
Yeah, I joined P&O Cruises back in early 2016. I'd spent about 2 decades in the telecoms category, done some not-for-profit and gaming. So, the step into P&O Cruises was a real change for me. My desire to work for more of a lifestyle brand and more of an experience brand. I had a fantastic time in telecoms, but it is very different. The end result, you don't get the tangible, you can't feel it. So, I secretly applied for 2 jobs at Carnival, actually, and I didn't get the first time. I tried again, and I did manage to get in. So since 2016, my role has primarily been, as I call it, custodian of the brand, which is a self-given title. But
it's very grand, very grand.
The reason is I think if you take on a brand with nearly 185 years of kind of heritage, you are genuinely managing that brand for a period of time and for the future. So, and I think we've had a really strong 5 years. We've done some new things with a brand refresh, new partnerships like Gary Barlow. So for me, the move into this role, taking on more marketing and sales as well, was a kind of a natural iteration for me. So yeah, I was excited.
Were you part of the team then that just chose to put the Union Jack on the hulls of the ships and then get in the heroes and then Gary Barlow? Because it really did sort of change up a gear, didn't it, for a while?
I can't claim the Union livery, that was before my time, but I can claim to be part of the team that put the livery on the back of Iona, because we felt she needed a bit more design because it's quite a large ship. But yeah, my role, I wrote the strategy paper for Iona. We took that through the design and build process. We started to work with the partnerships on board Iona, the Cirque product, Salcombe Gin. So that's all come out of my team. And Iona was very much about kind of a step change for the brand and a move to a more informal holiday product. So, and also XL class. And we've continuing that journey with Avia as well. So that's also still within my remit. So yeah, there's lots going on.
There is lots going on. And of course, Iona finally is sailing, and we'll perhaps come on and talk about that in a minute. Let's just talk then about your role, because obviously you replaced Alex Delamere-White, although your role is a little bit bigger. It's slightly different because you've kept the brand side of things. So just perhaps explain to us then, I guess what your role is and what your priorities are in this new.
Yeah, I guess the only difference, I mean, in many organisations, brand sits as part of marketing anyway. I think in P&O Cruises, the brand development team, they look after the 3 to 5 year brand strategy. So this is the team, and this is what I manage, is about saying, is our brand fit for purpose for the future, for where we want to get to as a brand, extending our audience, the growth demands we have, so it's about that 3 to 5 year strategy. And also the partnerships we have, Food Heroes, Gary Barlow, as I mentioned, and Salcombe Gin. So how do we add value to the guest experience on board through these brand partnerships? So it's a bit like within the team, we set the direction of the brand, we set the tone of voice and how we articulate the brand in the market, and then the sales and marketing team execute that brand strategy in the market. So it's really nice. It's a very circular way of kind of managing the brand and the sales and marketing channels.
Okay, so let's just talk about those channels, because obviously we know that cruise in general really does rely on the trade, but we also know you have a direct business as well. That's the case. So what's the split at the moment? And then perhaps we can talk a little bit about your agent business.
Yeah, I think pre-COVID, there's a view that perhaps lots of businesses are thinking about their direct agent split. I think in the world we are now, our view is agents are absolutely critical to our success in the future, more so. So we're absolutely focused on enhancing the tools and the relationships we have with agents, we have work to do in our direct channels, and they're not replacing agents. We just have work to do to improve those as well. So look, I think there's a balance across both for me. I think where I've seen we've been absent in the agent space because of COVID, because like many organisations, we've changed the shape of our organisation during hibernation. And you mentioned earlier about that kind of the virtual world, or we talked about the virtual world, we really need to get back out and start to rebuild some of those relationships face to face and really understand what we can do over and above the commercials to support agent recovery. So I think it's not as black and white as that for me. For me, over the next kind of 18 months, it's about truly what we can do to help our partners rebuild their business as well, because we're so entwined in this kind of success there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll come on to talk about what your plans are, but tell us how you kept in touch with people, agents, I mean, how did you support them through the crisis? I know we obviously had the whole refund bit right at the start, and I guess that continued for a bit, and you're probably still dealing with rebooks and some future cruise credits. I know that will all be still in existence, but I mean, what did you do to keep in touch and to make sure that you were supporting your trade partners?
So we continue to run things like Facebook Live events around key launches. We still, whilst we did have a reduced team in that space, we did still have the business managers. We were still outreaching to our key partners. We still managed the Shine rewards program with agents. We kept that going. We continued to pay out even on cancelled cruises. So it's an interesting fact that we allowed agents to redeem around 4,000 tablets and 10,000 Apple Watches worth of value in the Shine Rewards program during hibernation. So we've tried to kind of keeping frontline agents engaged with our brand, accepting that they were going through a difficult time as well, but also working one-to-one with the larger agents around, how do we make sure we have the training materials in place online? How do we look at our academy training? What can we do in that space? And look, we haven't always got it right. Over the course of the fact, we've had to make some difficult decisions, usually in response to guidance or that we're getting, and we're always striving to get better at that. I think we hear our agents saying it's difficult to contact us, or our guests saying it's quite hard at times. So we're investing in our contact centre. We created a dedicated line for agents. So I think for me, can
I just ask if that's new, because we heard a bit of that as well. We do get a bit of like agents take a long time to get through to you. So when you say, investing in your contact center, is that more people, or is it just a new technology phone system, or what's happening?
So there's a mixture of people. So we're bringing additional resource into the contact center. We have done through August and September. And also, as I mentioned about the dedicated agent line, so we put that in place. The technology piece is part of our 2022 plan. So we're looking at the efficiency of our contact center as well in terms of the IVR and the systems happening there. So look, it is we're a business coming out of hibernation as well. So, and we're acutely aware of some of the challenges agents and guests are having, but we've got a plan in place and we are kind of continuing to invest in it.
Okay, all right. Well, interesting what you said there about agents being perhaps even more important since COVID, and we're hearing that from loads and loads of suppliers, because I think customers want that extra bit of reassurance, don't they? Because obviously they want to know their money is safe, and there's so much more complexity that they need hand-holding through. So in terms of looking ahead, Rob, you said you needed to sort of get more people back out there. You've been hibernating, you've used that word a couple of times. Are you going to now bolster your sales team again? Are you going to get back out on the road? What's your plan?
So we're currently going through looking at the resource within the sales team. We're looking at the effectiveness of our online training tools. We are starting to look long-term at the CCS platform around how we can enhance that. So it's a number of things. I think previous conversations around hybrid and the recovery is probably the case. I'd love to be in a position to put more boots on the street. That will take time, I think, as we start to rebuild the team. But I think we're getting good feedback about what we're doing today. But I think we can always do better. And I'm certainly, my view is, we have to make sure it's really easy to do business with us. We have to make sure we're present. where agents are. You know, there's lots I think we can do from a visibility perspective for the brand and support agents.
Yeah, and would you say your approach, Rob, is very much a continuation of what went before, or what do you bring to the role, or perhaps what do you prioritize? What, you know, what will we see from Rob Scott that's different from you and your team in this new era?
I think look, the landscape's changed phenomenally. You know, as I step into my era, I've perhaps got an even bigger challenge. If I thought capacity growth was a challenge and exciting, new ships are exciting, you know, and I'm very fortunate to work for a large organisation. We believe that the UK market has that potential. We believe that, you know, we can support that, and we know our guests want it. I think for me, the goalposts have changed. I have a very different set of challenges than perhaps pre-COVID. So my approach is very much about relationships. I'm very open, and, you know, I trust that people I work with closely will pick up the phone to me and tell me if it's not working, if something's not right. So I very much invest in the personal relationship, and I've always over-invested in that at my cost sometimes, but I'm very transparent, I'm very honest. I don't have an agenda. I want to recover as much as I want our agent partners to recover. And that sounds really glib, but it's not, because that's, you know, that's how I'm going to measure myself at the end of next year.
The people, agent partners, if they want to, they, you know, your door is open if they've got a problem.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's not always a problem. Hopefully it's an opportunity. And, you know, certainly the conversations I've had with key partners has been in the initial introductions has been very much that. When you're coming in, when can I see you? How much of this can we do? And I guess I might again think about is, you know, the way we worked before worked for an industry that had a period of stability over a number of decades. If we've discounted things in the past, be them opportunities, commercial or investment in AMP or co-funding, we should probably look at them again. Okay. So, you know, a little bit of a no stone unturned, is it?
Is it? Yes, don't leave any stone unturned.
That's the one. Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay. So good. All right. So you're going to relook at some opportunities that perhaps perhaps they weren't a priority before, but now you're going to try and look at everything, because we do need to use all the distribution we can,
Absolutely, yeah. But also to hold my team to account on the test and learn, so that it's fine to try some things. If it doesn't work, we won't do it again. And that's a reciprocal thing with our agent partners.
So you're going to empower your team though to try and explore new opportunities with their trade partners around the country.
Yeah, it has to be a two-way street.
Yeah, it
has to be. And, you know, historically, maybe again because of that industry stability, because of where we were as a brand, you know, we can change that and evolve. So, you know, that's very much the culture I want to build within my team anyway. Okay,
sounds good. And another thing I noticed is that you've joined the Clear Exec.com. So another thing you're saying to your cost is, you know, you're perhaps investing all this time and stuff, but that's another, you know, commitment, isn't it? But you obviously feel that being part of the Clear organization, which works so well with agents, is important for you now.
That was really important to me personally, to have conviction and to show that Carnival UK, because I represent Carnival UK on that forum, Cunard and P&O Cruises, that we were there, we were part of the table, and that we are part of the dialogue, especially during the return to service and the recovery. And that was such a useful, instrumental forum in driving government debate and guidance and change. And I think, you know, credit to Andy Harmer on the work they did, but also my peers. So yeah, that's really important to me. It's really important to me to be seen to be championing the industry as a brand, and also to dedicating the time to it. So yeah, look, that will continue. And certainly I enjoy working with the guys on that forum. It's great.
Yeah, good. Okay. Well, you mentioned just now that prior to COVID, the biggest challenge would have been the capacity increase. And let's face it, you've got a lot. Iona, Avia coming, and it's huge increase. And that obviously hasn't gone away, because I know you had some delays with Iona, but it's obviously still coming. You haven't cancelled anything. And so are you confident, Rob, given where we've been as in this global health crisis, and obviously lack of confidence with some people, are you confident that demand is going to come back and that you're going to be able to fill this new tonnage that you've got coming? Yeah,
I think, look, we've got a very strong product. with Avia and Ione, it's a very different and new product for the brand, but we've also got our existing ships as well. So the rest of the fleet. So we offer incredible choice with the ships and the destinations we offer, and incredible value for money. And I think what we've seen through COVID is that people are looking for that security and that trust and that feeling that, you know, they're investing their holiday money well, and we can offer that choice. So look, we, without a doubt, we have a more of a challenge because it's clear insights and market insights says guests that are new to cruise are perhaps slightly further away from making a booking decision as they were pre-COVID. So we may have more of a challenge, but I'm very confident that we are on the road to kind of fulfilling that capacity, and we will be able to deliver some incredible holidays. To support that, we've just recently kicked off a new advertising campaign. You know, we're reinvesting our A&P in the rest of this year, but also building up that investment next year. So look, you can't do that without buying your share of market voice in the category. But equally, the good thing is,
would you normally have waited till Wave to do your TV and advertising and stuff? Have you gone early because you just need to obviously start ramping things up now?
Yeah, I mean, look, in a normal year, we'd have had a steady kind of TV activity to keep our share of voice and keep that kind of high level awareness. But, you know, TV is an incredibly efficient medium for us as a brand. It really drives through to conversion for us. So we use it as a kind of trigger. So not having it through the pandemic, whilst it in many ways would have been inefficient to use it, having it back now is really important as we start to build up to, as you say, launch, a double launch in November for us, and then Wave. So look, we're lining up for those key milestones and key trading periods. Yeah, absolutely. But the new advertising product is great for us as well, just quickly, because it's the first time we've moved on from working with Rob Brydon. It's a very different style of ad. And again, it's another proof point for us trying to get ourselves noticed in the wider holiday market.
Yeah, it's definitely a different tone and feel. I would agree, and I hope it works for you. One thing I wanted to ask though, there's, I guess because of all the round UK sailings that had to happen this year, and lines, some of your competitor lines are now announcing more sailings out of Southampton. You know, does that put even more pressure on you? Because obviously you had that kind of dominance, didn't you, out of Southampton, and now you've got a little bit more competition. So how does that play out?
I think Southampton's always been our home port. I think, you know, our guests love traveling from Southampton. It's very convenient. So that's great for us. And we also have kind of strong fly cruise product as well. So we have a mix of Southampton-based product and fly cruise, etc. So look, it doesn't, you know, I think it isn't an issue for me. It doesn't concern me. I think it helps Southampton in terms of regenerating the area. So look, you know, it doesn't cause me any concerns.
And you talk about demand, and you're obviously confident. Let's hope it all comes back and you can fill this new capacity. But what about the round UK, the sort of staycation cruises? Did you attract a new audience there? You must attract those, you know, was it just your loyal P&O customers who just needed to get on a ship, wherever it was going, or did you actually open up the market a bit?
We did actually. We saw, and it was great because when you think that was a new product we had to create, and that's not easy. But we did see a really good mix of newcomers, new to cruise, and past guests. And I think that was really reassuring. But also we saw really high levels of guest satisfaction, guests enjoying those holidays. So that was the biggest payoff for us, knowing that we could operate within the guidance at that time, which was more restrictive than it is now, and deliver a holiday experience. But also, and see our crew back enjoying doing the things they love, seeing the ships come back into service, you know, seeing us deliver the product we have, you know, from the great food on board to the entertainment. So I think, look, the ex-UK product really helped us kind of feel much more confident about our return to service, and many of those lessons learned. And we did learn lessons. We didn't always get it right. We've gone back around, we've retrained crew, we've looked at the systems and the technology. So I think, look, it was a big commitment and a big risk to some extent, but it really paid off for us.
Yeah, and interesting what you said there, how great it was to see people enjoy themselves. And I think for agents watching this, I mean, you mentioned there the restrictions have already slightly eased of what you had to do then and what they are now. So can you just update us? If I was selling, I'm a travel agent, I'm trying to sell somebody onto a cruise, is my customer still going to get that cruise experience? How much is it still affected by COVID restrictions?
Well, I think, look, every cruise brand, we still have the peace of mind around testing pre-joining the ship. That's there for now. We're specifying vaccination requirements pre-boarding, but once you're on board, it's pretty much as it was pre-COVID. We are asking guests to wear masks at this stage, but that's in response to research. It's about protecting crew and guests and well-being. So on board, the experience is very much as it was before. We have a digital holiday planner on board now called My Holiday, where you can book theatre, you can book your dining. So even through COVID, we try to continue to invest in the product and make it easier for guests to have a great holiday. So look, I would say, look, we've also just recorded with Ollie Smith, our wine expert, who's very good, a number of kind of VTs just to kind of help guests see what the experience is like on board, and they'll be coming out in the next couple of days. So yeah,
are they available for agents to send to their,
yeah, we'll be publishing those in the next couple of days, and that is to respond to that very question around what's it like on board. Can I go and see a show? Can I still enjoy dinner? Can I talk to new people?
Particularly as things are opening up on land, we don't have to wear masks anywhere anymore. And then I think people are still a bit shocked when they get on a ship and they still have to wear a mask to wander around. I know you don't have to wear one when you sit down at dinner and in various public spaces when you're sitting, but I think people are still quite surprised about that. And that's obviously not a P&O thing. That's just the cruise, what the cruise industry is still.
Yeah, and I think it is about us kind of taking that position where we want to protect the well-being of our guests and crew as best we can. And, we've proven it works. To the question about how do we reassure agents, we had over 150 agents on Iona today on the first cruises, but also today we're launching an ability for agents to redeem their Shine rewards to go on Iona cruises as well. So it's another way of getting agents to experience and see firsthand what a holiday experience is like.
Oh, brilliant. And so Iona at the moment is Western Med sailing, but she's shortly to go off to do her Norway, and which is what.
So Norway's not till next April.
Oh right, okay. So at the moment, then, if they were going to redeem,
they would be doing a Western Med ex UK.
Okay, so. All right, and that's great. And so that a new thing. You say you're launching that today, then?
Yeah, we're launching that today. So further information will come out on that. But it's just a way we're multiplying Shine reward points to incentivise getting travel agents on board. Iona it sort of breaks my heart because I spent 5 years working on that as a project to not launch when we were going to launch to the fjords, to then have that delayed maiden season. So and also we plan to have a Shine event on board Iona for her launch. So we haven't been able to do that. So it's just a way of continuing to get agents on board and see the product, to your point.
That's brilliant. All right. And then any other sort of developments coming for Shine? Because it was really building into something really quite strong, wasn't it, before the pandemic hit? Agents, obviously, you say you've still been redeeming with your different things through the pandemic, and now you've launched this thing today. Is that just going to continue to build, Rob?
We see Shine, as our main mechanic to engage agents for across this kind of plethora of agent size. We will look. Yesterday was chatting with Nathaniel and the team around when we have another Shine event in 2022. So it's likely to be sort of late summertime when we do that. But again, we'll confirm dates. But yeah, that was a really popular event for us, and it was just so nice to celebrate with agents and the top agents around, the things that they'd achieved, but also have some fun. And I think that's going to be a really important part of next year, is kind of just reconnecting in, to me, what is still an incredibly fun industry.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then, of course, we look ahead to December with Avia. So you've not told us much about Avia yet, so I don't know whether this could be the perfect opportunity, Rob, for you to tell us a little bit about what we can expect.
So Avia, sister ship to Iona, very much continuation of our XL class, the class of the ship, our vision for that. So obviously her first season is the Caribbean. She's a sunshine ship. You might have seen in social, we've just released some CGIs of the Sky Dome. So the Sky Dome opens, there's a change to that layout there. It's much more of a festival-like entertainment space. We already got some additional dining experiences. We've got a 6th Street American diner. We've got an evolution of the Olive Grove Mediterranean restaurant. So these changes and evolution in that product are in response to kind of sitting down with guests, doing focus groups, getting them to taste the food, talk about it. So it's all quite exciting in that sense. We'll keep the 17 Club, Gary Barlow. We'll keep Gary Barlow's relationship with that. We do have some little things in the pipeline that I can't really talk about that will come soon.
So annoying though, because you're teasing us.
Yeah, I don't. And I'm the world's worst at blabbing, so I'm sitting. I've got my legs crossed because I can't. In terms of Avia itself, though, we have a plan to release Avia, and there's more stuff to come. There will be a media event in early next year where there'll be some big reveals.
Okay. So. But what you have been known for are these partnerships, aren't they, with celebrities or chefs or brands that really have sort of brought P&O into popular culture and into different markets, I guess, to try and widen your appeal to different types of customers. So is it more along the lines of that?
Yeah, and I think the partnership with Gary Barlow very much epitomises that. The reason we did that was to try and get people to think differently about the brand, and also to authenticate the partnership by, Gary actually loves travelling, he loves being on board the ship, and this is genuine. It's kind of, I've spent some time with him and taken to 710, and he's very enthused.
That's not helping all the agents watching this, that you've spent time with Gary Barlow and we haven't, you see.
Yeah. We'll continue to develop that relationship, and and that's a really fruitful. But that was a bit of a proof of concept. So look, that certainly sets the bar for me. And we still continue to work with food heroes. We'll be announcing some new food heroes coming up soon. So look, it's about timing. And I think what we wanted to make sure as we come through, kind of returning the ships into service, bringing Ventura back this week, which is 50% of our fleet back in service, and then later in the year and early next year we can start to think about some of those big releases and start to drum up excitement around Avia.
And when are you expecting to have the whole fleet back in service, or is it you just kind of?
So I think it's by I should know this off the top of my head. Maybe you could edit that bit out. No. So we've got Aurora coming back at the end of February, and she's going ex-UK Caribbean. We've got Arcadia end of March, and she's ex-UK Atlantic Islands. So really by kind of springtime next year, we'll have the whole fleet back. That's our ambition.
But you've got plans for more ships after Avia, of course.
I think we're part of a large corporation. There's always talk of other ships. We obviously are very focused on launching Avia and proving that we can deliver Avia from a capacity perspective. But yeah, I'm really hopeful that the market can sustain a further XL class in the future. You never say never, but I want to get Iona going and launch Avia, and then I'll worry about.
All right, yeah, we'll let you off. We won't ask you too much about the future. As you say, we've just got to get through the next year and hope it goes really well. My God, we all need it, don't we? The other thing that's new for you is Simon Pelthorpe, your boss, is he's moving on, and you've got Stuart coming in from Carnival in Australia. Will he change the way you operate? Do you know much about his style?
So Stuart comes with an incredible track record of experience. I'm really excited about it because P&O Cruises, I've been to Australia, I've experienced the brand, and I think they have a lot to offer us as a brand. I think their market's very different, but there's a lot of learning there. So he's very well respected across the corporation, and I think he'll bring a different perspective. And I like change. I like to shake things up. So I'm really looking forward to it. He's coming to the UK later this month, and we've got a series of kind of induction conversations. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think Simon did an amazing job, and I will always value his counsel and steady hand. So yeah, good for him, I say. But I'm looking forward to it.
Well, it's all sounding, isn't it, more positive after a really tough time for everyone, and you're genuinely excited about the challenge. And I know there will be bumps in the road, and I know it's not all going to be plain sailing, but it does sound like you've got a good plan ahead, and it sounds like we're going to see more of you and your team, which I'm sure agents will really welcome. So thank you for your time today, Rob, and we wish you all the best.
Thanks, Lucy. Great to speak to you, and look forward to coming back with any further updates. Thank you.
Good. See you soon. Bye.